Everyone, welcome to another one of Gav's videos. Today I'm looking at some 28mm front rank British 95th rifles I've been painting recently. Well, they've been going for months as usual with a lot of my work, but finally got them based, and I thought I'd just do a bit of a show and tell. So let's see if we can actually zoom in. Here we have the standing firing pose. I've tried to make the bases, I think these run 25mm bases, MDF, 2mm thick. I've tried to make these quite arid, for the peninsula in Spain. And here's the standing pose. Let me just try and zoom out very slightly. It's all the one thing or another with my videos. It's either not enough light or the light's bouncing off everything, but I'm afraid you'll just have to bear with me on that one. It's got the white haversack. Obviously you can do these like off-white tan type colour. I've done this like a cold white, although obviously with the way the light's bouncing off it you can't really see. So here's the standing pose. Here we've got the sergeant shouting his orders. He's got the ready scarlety type of sash with a black line in it. I put a rough Gav's rendition of a hunting horn on the back and the 95th for the rifles. Sometimes regiments would, or individuals within a regiment would paint either the battalion facing colour on and the number, or just the number. I mean, even back to my day 20 odd years ago when I was in, we used to do the same thing, marking each company's and your regiment's colours, if your Bergens and that were going to be mixed up with somebody else's. He's got the sword bayonet, as you can see. If you notice, I quite like not doing the metallics on these, or I've mixed the metallics, I should say. So the sword handle and guard and that, and the cap badge and all the other stuff is non-metallic. It's not like a fantasy non-metallic. It really is just colours that aren't that far apart from each other, and I'll put them on, giving them a brass look. The sword bayonet itself is metallic, but it's been really dulled down with washes, and then bits of white and that put on and washed over again. It's not fantastic, I must admit, but it'll do. So with these guys I've done used deep sea blue to put some washes and glazes over the gaiters. What I'd like to do is not put everything the same. So if I've put black and brown, I mix in to do the shako, the backpack, the cartridge box, and the gaiters themselves. But I try and do put some washes on or some glazes on, just to show a slight differentiate in the black colours. So the backpack, although you can't really see it, he's had some brown glazes and washes put in there. So he's a grey-haired sergeant. I've got Mark Urbine's book on the 95th Rifles in the Peninsula, and it's surprising, they weren't all young fellas, although there was supposed to be a stipulation in age and that, obviously active guys rather than, of course he's right next to the other grey-haired guy I've done. They're not all over the hill, but a lot of these 95th Rifles that were in the Peninsula, there was a lot of Leicestershire lads in there that had been made redundant from stocking weaving when they used to do the old, obviously the stockings earlier on in the late 1700s and whatever. When they started getting over the trousers, they were all made redundant. Obviously, with no welfare state, it was the Navy or the Army for you. So a lot went into the Army, and it just so happened that a lot came down and joined the 95th as they were preparing them at Shorncliffe. Again, no number on the back with this one. Powder horn there. I do the powder horn sometimes like this one with a bit of brown in it. Sometimes grey, sometimes white. Again, he's got like the Portuguese, Spanish type fabric brown trousers on. I just did the one in this unit. This unit's going to be I'm just selling this unit as a skirmish unit. Unfortunately, with Gav's known mathematical abilities, I ordered one less. I thought I got 12 and I got bloody 11. So I've actually got to order another figure, which will probably be the Hornet player. I mean, I've got 2 officers in this batch just because I fancy painting 2 officers. I didn't really. Again, it's just with me, I get attracted to the sculpts rather than what I'm going to do with them afterwards. So that's the other fighting part. As I say, I try and, top tip again is if you've got the time to do it in your unit, just yes, you might have the same poses, but it doesn't mean that you can't make them look slightly different. So sorry about that, that's my phone. So he's got grey trousers on, which they were known to have also worn. Here we have an officer. And they obviously took a lot of the light infantry from around Europe, took their lead from the light cavalry. So they all have a light cavalry look to them, the officers. He's got his visor, the brown bit there is his actual visor that's been folded up. Again, the metallics on these have been really, before I put them on, because they're only tiny buttons, obviously you can't really wash them over so well without getting the wash everywhere. So work on the paint. So if you've got the metallics, put other paints in. I think I put light blue in that one. Again, dry tufty bases. I made the bases myself with the flop box that I bought last year. Again, he's got his officer sash, denoting he's an officer. This fellow here, kneeling pose. They're all lovely poses. I can't say there's a particularly naff pose in any of them because they're not. It's I quite like them. I think there's a running pose as well, which I didn't get, and the running pose has got a sword bayonet on him. I've done different colour water canteens because there was never one the same. Again, the odd patch thrown in here and there. I didn't. It's weird, although I've got a nice dry, summer peninsula type base, and they've got patches on. I don't particularly like tying them into the base with pigments and that. I like them to look fairly clean on the base. Again, it's each to his own or her own. Again, 95 on the back of there. Some I've put the hunting horn on, some I haven't. It's just that sometimes it's that's about as small as I can get it, even with my tiny brush. He's got his scarf on there. Let's see if we can it shows up. So he's on his he's getting his cartridge caps out of his thing, out of his pouch. The other, same again. Again, you can mix the bed rolls up, or the greatcoat rolls, whatever you want to call them, with different fabrics. Just believe me, they were in a lot more tatters than these show. It would have actually been nice, probably, to actually have these in a real beat-up campaign look. It's a shame they don't do them. You'll see as well, these have got the brass cap badge rather than the silvery metal pewter one, whatever you want to call it. That came on slightly later. We've got the cap comforter on this guy here, and he's in the full greens. Oh, we got a hunting horn there as well, 95th on the back. Again, mix your hair colours up. Mix your trouser colours up. Obviously, sometimes with jackets you can't always do that, but at least with the trousers, even if they've got the same trousers on, and you want to just throw a patch on or something. Hair differentiate, like he's got a red head here. The other guy was brown. He's got his brown blanket on the back. I could have actually mixed up these bread bags as well, but I didn't. I just decided to keep them. So sometimes you want to keep them looking slightly more uniform, if that makes sense. So you pick things out that you can play around with, and others that you want to have like a uniformed look, so everybody has roughly the same. Here we have another officer. He's got the leather bracing in his trousers, obviously, so he's riding. A lot of these officers, although they'd obviously go into battle on foot, they'd all have their own privately bought mounts. It wasn't for them to be trudging through the dirt or the snow, whichever part of the peninsula at the time of year you're in. They actually, most of them had privately bought mounts. They even had their own hunting packs as well that they bought locally. There's a good, if you ever get a chance to buy it, there's, I think it's Sir Harry Smith. He was a young lieutenant, subaltern in the Rifles in their time in the peninsula before he later went on and became, I believe, Governor of South Africa, and it was his wife that gave the town of Ladysmith its name. There you go, a bit of useless information, but he's left a lovely little memoir about his time as an officer in the 95th. And the trouble you had keeping the lads away from the drink, which is well known for the British Army. I don't think much has changed. So guys, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look at my 95th Rifles. I'll catch you on another vid. I hope you're looking after yourselves. Your projects are coursing ahead, I'm not sure which, and you're looking after your paintbrushes, because they will look after you and your figures. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again on another vid. Cheers.